Chair. I call Carol Beaumont.
Thank you very much, Mr Chair. I rise to speak on the State Sector Management Bill and on Part 1 relating to the merger of Forstyn Morst and the creation of a Ministry of Science and Innovation. And as other colleagues have said, we are supportive of this provision and believe it to be in line with certainly our support for innovation. We are concerned, though, that this by itself is not going to make the huge difference that we need in this country, and that in fact this government, by a merger, is not a plan, and this government has failed to show real commitment in the area of innovation. But I want to talk specifically about clauses 17, 18 and 19 of Part 1, and these are the clauses that relate to the employees of these organisations. And I think whenever we're looking at structural change like this, it's very important that we consider the implications for the people who work in those organisations. These are people with families, these are people who work very hard at their jobs, and in my understanding, the people who work at Forstyn Morst are well regarded, people committed to the work that they're doing. Now, what I know is that the organisation that speaks on behalf of those employees, and that's the Public Service Association, has acknowledged in their submission to the Select Committee that members at Morst are generally supportive of the objectives of the merger and welcome the opportunity to work in a new organisation mandated to lead government and sector work on science and innovation. So that's a good start, that the employees there can see that it's valuable. They're also not resistant to change, and their union makes that point, but they urge the Select Committee to take account of the fact that change is difficult and stressful and can be demoralising, and that must be mitigated. Those issues must be mitigated by good process, good leadership. So I hope that has been taken on board by the Minister. I'd be very interested in hearing from the Minister, if he was listening, as to whether he sees that that's important to provide and encourage that good leadership of a process of staff change. Now, as I say, clauses 17, 18 and 19 do actually outline the rights of the employees in these organisations, and it would appear that they're reasonably comprehensive and will allow for a smooth transfer of employees from both the Foundation and the Ministry into the new organisation, the Ministry of Science and Innovation. So I'm pleased to see that. I'm very pleased to see that. But there is a need for some certainty in these organisations, and certainly for the people who work at Morst, they have been going through a period of significant uncertainty already, and I understand that last year 50% of Morst's first, second and third tier managers left. That's 50%. And that none were replaced on a permanent basis, which takes me to my next point, which is that this new organisation, which we support, is expecting a lot more. There's a whole lot of new things to be done, and that's positive. But the expectation of this government is that this will be done with less staff. So there is a significant reduction in staffing. Fewer staff. Thank you very much to my colleague, the Honourable Trevor Mallard. He's on the ball even at this time on a Saturday morning. Fewer staff will be expected to deliver more, and I think that's an important point. We do need to make sure that we are not putting levels of pressure on people that mean that they undermine the very good intentions of this new ministry. Now, one of the very interesting points in Clause 19 that I want to talk about is Clause 19.3b. And what that says for everybody here is to avoid, and this clause is about the avoidance of doubt, the employment of a transferred employee does not create new employment for the purposes of the KiwiSaver Act. That's good. But most importantly, in B, does not treat that employee as a new employee for the purposes of the Employment Relations Act. Now, many people in this room may not understand the significance of that. I hope that the people on the Transport and Industrial Relations Select Committee at least do. And that is, of course, that these employees, unlike many other New Zealand employees, will not be prone to dismissal in the first 90 days of their new employment. They will retain their rights as employees. They will retain the right to take an unjustified dismissal case should that unfortunate situation ever arise for them. So I just thought it was worth noting that at least for this group of employees, they do not suffer the consequences of very poor employment relations changes that have been made.